Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty heavy, but absolutely crucial, the often intimidating world of hospital malpractice. Our goal? To demystify this whole process and empower you with actionable, clear-cut knowledge. We're going to take all that complex legal jargon and break it down into straightforward concepts, so you know exactly what your rights are and how to protect them.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by defining hospital malpractice, look at some common errors, break down the 4 Ds of negligence, cover the immediate steps you need to take to protect yourself, and finally, explain how the legal process actually works.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, defining hospital malpractice, what it is and what it isn't.
We really have to start by acknowledging a fundamental truth. When we entrust our health to a hospital, we expect high-quality care. It's supposed to be a place of healing. So when a patient is harmed instead, it turns into this incredibly difficult personal and legal battle. The trauma of medical negligence it's deeply painful for patients and their families.
Now, it's vital to understand the specific definition here. Hospital malpractice focuses on the institution's failure, and that can be completely distinct from just one single doctor making a mistake. We're talking about institutional liability. Think systemic issues, like a hospital intentionally short-staffing the ER on a busy weekend, or failing to properly train staff, which ultimately allows these tragic mistakes to happen.
And that brings us to a contrast you absolutely must understand: a medical mistake versus a true breach of duty. Listen, not every bad outcome is a malpractice case. For a claim to be legitimate, you have to prove that the hospital's actions actively fell below the accepted standard of care. Meaning, would a reasonably competent facility have done the same thing? If not, that's a breach.
So the key point here is that an overworked staff leading to errors represents a systemic injury. If a hospital decides to understaff a ward just to save a few bucks, and an exhausted nurse makes a medication error, well, that places the blame squarely on the hospital's shoulders. That is a textbook institutional failure.
Moving on to Section 2, common hospital errors and how to recognize the signs.
The sheer variety of these errors is, frankly, staggering. We're not just talking about a slip of the scalpel here. We're talking improper medication dosages, nurses failing to monitor vital signs, and devastating surgical errors. Incredibly, this still includes never events, things like operating on the wrong body part or literally leaving surgical sponges inside a patient. It also covers delayed diagnoses and anesthesia errors. It's a vast, vast spectrum of negligence.
Next up, Section 3, proving the 4 Ds. This is the mechanics of the law. You've got to firmly anchor these 4 Ds in your mind. A successful case means climbing this exact 4-step ladder. 1. Duty. 2. Dereliction. 3. Direct cause. And 4. Damages. Let's look a little closer at the most complex steps.
Let's focus on Step 2, dereliction, also known as a breach of duty. This is the absolute core of your case. You can't just walk in and say, they messed up. You have to prove it against an invisible standard. That's exactly why medical experts are brought in to testify. They explain what a reasonable, competent professional would have and should have done in that exact same situation.
Then there's Step 3, direct cause. Honestly, this is often the biggest hurdle. You have to forge a clear, undeniable link between the hospital's mistake and your injury. In legal terms, you must prove that your injury would not have occurred but for the hospital's negligence. If your illness was going to worsen anyway, well, the case becomes incredibly difficult to win.
Section 4, steps to protect yourself and taking immediate action.
So if you're sitting there right now wondering if you or a loved one might be a victim, what exactly should your very first move be? Let me tell you, the actions you take in the immediate aftermath can absolutely make or break both your health and your legal claim.
You've got to act decisively. First, health is priority number 1, right? So secure care from a new, trusted doctor to address your injuries. Second, stay completely off social media. Seriously, defense attorneys will scour your accounts looking for any photo or post to argue you aren't actually hurt. Third, start gathering all your records. And fourth, document everything in a journal while it's fresh. Times, dates, names, the whole shebang.
And never forget that the law empowers you here. Under HIPAA, you have the fundamental right to request and collect all of your medical documents. We're talking diagnostic tests, doctor's notes, billing statements, everything. Please do not let a hospital intimidate you into thinking otherwise. These documents are literally the vital evidence for your claim.
Finally, Section 5, the legal process explained, and how you fight back.
Hospitals and their insurance companies have massive resources, and they are going to aggressively defend themselves. Going it alone? It's nearly impossible. A good lawyer will assess your case against those 4Ds we talked about, navigate the crazy complex evidence gathering, secure those crucial medical experts, and handle the aggressive settlement negotiations. And, of course, if a settlement just can't be reached, they'll prep the case for trial.
Now, you might be stressing about the cost of a lawsuit, but here's some really good news. Most malpractice lawyers work on a contingency basis. What does that mean for you? It ensures you can pursue justice without being crippled by upfront legal fees. The lawyers take on the financial risk, and they literally only get paid if they win your case.
So why go through all this trouble? Well, pursuing a lawsuit doesn't just secure the resources you need for your own recovery, like covering medical bills, lost income, and pain and suffering. It actually acts as a powerful force for good. It holds the hospital accountable, provides emotional closure, and crucially, it exposes systemic issues. Your lawsuit could literally force a hospital to fix broken safety protocols, preventing the same errors from harming future patients.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. A hospital's negligence can change a patient's life forever. If you or a loved one have suffered due to an institutional failure, are you ready to step out of the shadows, expose the truth, and demand the justice that you and future patients truly deserve?